It's the process. While you may be frustrated or struggling or whatever, where you're at right now, if you can find a satisfaction in the journey to create it, it will go faster. But the first step is you have to get out of reaction. Hi, I'm Jason Drees. Welcome to the Do the Impossible podcast. Don't forget to go to MondayMindsetReset.com, MondayMindsetReset.com to sign up for my free 20-minute mindset alignment call that happens every Monday at 10 a.m. Central. And don't worry if you missed that, you can always go to my free Facebook group as well. Today, I've got a coaching session for you with an amazing client named Michael. Michael is a realtor who's currently not satisfied with his current career path and also isn't making as much money as he would like to. He's been feeling a little bit stuck trying to apply the principles of alignment to get moving to creating a new career direction and to make more money. Watch this coaching session where I coach him in through the process of getting into alignment to remove the resistance he was feeling so that he can start moving on a higher frequency, higher elevated path. Hey, Michael, good to see you today.
See you.
Excellent. So what should we talk about today? What would you like some coaching on today?
Well, at a high level, I need a career reorientation. I'm fully coming to terms with the fact that what I've been doing, I've been working as a realtor for 7 or 8 years. I kind of got into it, viewing it as a stepping stone to something else from the beginning, which in and of itself probably was limiting me.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it. I'm okay at it. You know, I understand real estate well. I would say I'm a mediocre realtor though, and that has a lot to do with just the nature of the work. But after listening to your work and kind of sitting with it and asking myself big questions, like the work itself doesn't feel right, the goal of the work doesn't drive me, and so using your terms, it feels out of alignment.
Okay.
So my goal is to I don't expect to know what I should be doing after the next 40 minutes or whatever, but I need to work on being able to sit in that, how you phrase it, sit with that future version of myself that knows what to do, operate from that frequency consistently. And I have some ideas of what the next steps are, I think, but I need to be able to step back from what I'm doing and just kind of reorient.
Okay. How old are you?
41.
And this is your first, you're new to coaching.
Yeah.
This is like your first coaching call. And you read my book and you've been following me for a while, right? My content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the podcast is really what got me. Your podcast is great. So yeah, I've read the book. Listen to your interviews on BP. Yeah, man, your podcast is great. So I've consumed most of that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing your situation with me. What is your question, or what do you want coaching on?
I need coaching on how to, I'm in the frame of financial scarcity. I'm actually in a state of certain degree of financial scarcity. Mm-hmm. That's a real problem. Mm-hmm. And then of course there's the mindset that comes with it. Mm-hmm. So learning how to step out of that mindset into that frame of abundance and put myself I'm not sure how to phrase it, but operate from a frame where I do know what to do. Because I find myself falling back down a little bit, getting down on myself, getting frustrated, and then operating from that state of reaction, which just perpetuates the cycle of not knowing what to do.
So, well, that's great that you understand that you're in reaction. That's great, because that's the first step. And are you familiar with the 3 circles?
I don't know.
You are correct in your understanding that the lack of knowing what to do is coming from being in the wrong frame. Okay, so that's great. So this is, and if you have a piece of paper, I would draw this too. So draw a circle. This is action. If you need to grab it, that's fine. But because this is a good reminder. So we've got action, right? And that's what we're after, because we know at the end of the day, we need to take an action to get what we want. We know there's an action there. And a lot of times we get fixated on the action. Yeah. But the way life actually works is the action you take comes from your mindset.
Right.
Think of it like this, your mind controls your hands, right? Your mind controls your hands. That's how you take action. So if you know what to do, clearly 100% certain you know what to do, that means you're in a mindset that's aligned with the target. And if the mindset's in alignment with the target, it'll generate an action that knows what to do. Boom. Okay. If you don't know what the action is, you're not in alignment with the mindset is out of alignment. Okay. Now, this is the way we used to work for a long time, but over the past couple of years, I've discovered and been teaching people on how to operate at the level above that. So there's one bigger circle that goes around that, and that's the circle I call frame. Mm-hmm. Frame is your consciousness. It's you. Our bodies are made of atoms, which are pure energy. It's the vibrational frequency of you as a being. And basically, life is different now, right? It's different than it was a few years ago. And you're in your 40s, so you remember 20 years ago, you could put away that personal growth in the closet and forget about it for a year, 10 years, right? You just didn't have to deal with it, right? But now that's no longer optional because it's like you got to grow now. So we're used to operating in a reality that only had mindset and action. So you'd use power of positive thinking because the mindset that's out of alignment has negative thoughts in here and positive thoughts, negative beliefs and positive beliefs. So we would hold on to the positive beliefs and use positive thinking and ignore negative thoughts to kind of create an artificially aligned mindset. That's what positive thinking would do. But we don't need to do that anymore. And in fact, you want to stop doing that because it's much faster to shift frames than to try to fix a misaligned mindset. So our brain, we grew up in thinking that action creates our reality, but it's actually backwards. Reality creates your action.
Yeah. I've heard you say that.
Reality creates your action, right? Because the right action in the wrong environment will never work. When I grew up coaching for Tony Robbins, we would focus on results-based coaching, and all we do is focus on action, 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 action. Didn't do anything. Now I basically ignore action in the coaching, and I focus on putting your mindset in alignment where the action shows up automatically. Mm-hmm. Now, this is all the time, and when you feel doubt, fear, uncertainty, negative emotions, those are happening right here in the mindset level. And I know you're going to agree with this, but mindset's hard to change, right? Mindset's hard to change. The reason mindset's hard to change is because mindset is not the source of mindset. Right. Mindset is the byproduct of frequency of you, which is basically the frame creates it. So like if you are in a happy frame, you'll have a happy mindset and happy action. If you are in a sad frame, you'll have a sad mindset and sad action. If you have a successful frame, you'll be in a successful mindset with successful action. If you are in a unsuccessful or doubtful, because I will call anything less than 100% certain unsuccessful. So if you are doubt anywhere in the frame, the doubt's getting here, and then it's creeping down here, and you're sitting here going, I don't know what to do. You're getting misalignment because life is telling you should be doing something different. This is not the work you're passionate about. It's the job, like you're ready for the evolution. You're trying to find it, but you're looking in the wrong places. Mm-hmm. Because all of the searching you're doing is in the frame where it doesn't exist. Given that you've listened to me long enough, you may be popping into the new frame occasionally. One of the challenges in doing that is like I can be looking at this spot, like where I am today, I'm looking down on the ground. I don't like this spot I'm at. It sucks. I want to change it. And the path I'm headed on, I don't like that path either. I don't like where I'm at, and I don't like where I'm going. So like I need to change that. I don't like being a realtor. It looks like I'm going to be a realtor. I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm going to change the new path. And I go, okay, well, I can go this way. Oh my God, it looks nicer over there. I can't see exactly what it is, but it's sunny. There's a nice breeze, and it looks like people are having fun over there. People are sad. So I'm like, I'm going to go that way. Now, you can be refocused and shift the frame, but if you still look at your feet, you're in the exact same spot.
Right.
This is one of the most difficult things for us to do as humans is lose the reaction to the present spot we're at. And that's what we're all doing right now is learning how to operate this way where we go, I'm going in that direction. Yeah, that's where I am, but I'm not going to be there in a bit because I'm going that way. And so I'm guessing what's happening is you're doing a combination of this, but you're still reacting a little bit to that.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of reaction to the current state. A lot of imagining something else that seems better. So it's a little bit of the grass is greener syndrome, which is also may touch on, what the right path is for me. But it's a kind of a reaction from what I don't have, that state of scarcity.
If you're going from A to B, resistance can occur a lot of times resistance will occur right here in the process. Resistance to the work. Sometimes we'll actually have resistance to the end result. We'll be chasing money, but have negative beliefs about wealthy people. And sometimes we'll have resistance to the starting point. Mm-hmm. So if you have resistance anywhere at point A, at point B, or between the two, you will not have movement. So your number one goal right now is to go from, so we got the old frame, whoops. It's hard to do on Zoom. So the old frame right here, misalignment, we need to go to the new frame. So instead of solving the misalignment here, we need to go to this new frame.
Yeah.
And there are multiple types of frames. That's the foundation. Now you can hold the frame and figure it out. But what's probably going to happen at this point is this next step for you isn't like, I got it. It's probably more of a journey. It's probably more of a discovery process. I would love if you had a moment like me where I got struck by lightning. I'm like, I'm going to be a coach, but my intuition is telling me that's not your path. Your path is because there's growth. Because the reason why is that you moving from this spot and discovering the new direction is going to put those new frames in place. It's the process. While you may be frustrated or struggling or whatever where you're at right now, if you can find a satisfaction in the journey to create it, it will go faster. But the first step is you have to get out of reaction because you can't do anything until you're out of reaction.
So getting out of reaction when it comes to financial scarcity seems like one of the harder things that most people struggle with. And I've heard you talk about this before, because there are times when a person, you meet, whatever, you're in, like actually in a state of, to greater or lesser degree, financial scarcity. You don't have enough money for 6 months, the next month, whatever that is. And that causes reactions and fear. Mm-hmm. And one of the most important things to do is to, despite the circumstance, shift, at least temporarily, into a frame of, what's the term? Financial abundance? I don't know if that's the right term, but
it's just alignment. Yeah. It's alignment with money. Yeah. Whatever you call that frame.
And, certainly there's some underlying factors that you've alluded to about like psychology around money. Mm-hmm. That, we don't need to go down that path necessarily. I can recognize those happening inside myself as well from family.
Yeah.
There is also just the reality of like, I still need money next month.
Yeah.
But how do I step out of the feeling that I need to sell the next house so that I can have, cover all my bills for the next 2 months or whatever, and also step back from the work itself doesn't feel right. I need to be able to step back from it to realign. It's like a little bit of a quandary.
Kind of, but you're still learning how to operate at this higher level, right? So it's the mind thinks that the feeling of financial scarcity will go away when you start making money.
Yeah, right.
But that's not how it works. Money will show up when you get rid of the feeling of financial scarcity.
That's hard to embrace.
It is absolutely hard. It's the hardest thing I've done in my entire life. Absolutely. Because money is a process. I actually have my second book is on money, and it's actually, the first draft is done, but it talks a lot about this, is that money is a process. Like you can have a radical breakthrough financially and still not have any more money in your bank account today. Money is always a process. Right now, you are in the process of more money. Absolutely. You're just in the part of the process where you don't have the money in your bank account. With money, it takes a lot of focus and consistent work to hold an aligned financial mindset when you are currently presently physically experiencing financial scarcity. It's challenging, but that's why being involved with coaching or having a coach or a community helps align that, because it's literally every day you got to literally almost daydream to distract it. And when you look at your bank account, you're like, okay, maybe you got your paycheck. Okay, I got my paycheck, pay my bills. What most people do when they look at their paycheck is they'll go, oh, okay, that's how much money I have left until the next paycheck. And basically right there, they're putting themselves in a frequency where there's no more money.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, of the money that's mine, this much is in my account right now. That's a different frequency. So getting out of that is hard. Now, there's also micro frames and macro frames. Micro frame is, what do I need to do today to make money? A little bit bigger from micro frame is, what is my job, right? At a global level, macro frame is my beliefs about making money. One of the ways that it helps you stay in alignment is creating certainty at the macro or global frame. And even though you have lack of confidence, lack of certainty at the micro frame, because the global frame is actually what matters more. The global frame, that's like your default frequency. And that's what reality responds to, is a frequency, and the version of reality you get is based on that global frequency. But what actually happens to all of us is we look at what's going on today, we have a reaction to that, we get doubt at the micro level, and we will let the doubt at the micro level creep to the global level. Instead of saying, I am going to find a job that I love or work or career. I am going to make more money. I'm not going to be in financial scarcity forever. This period of financial scarcity is actually going to be one of the keys to me creating that financial abundance and wealth. It is absolutely going to happen. I don't know how long it takes, but it's not, I'm not going to stop until I hit it. I guarantee that. Feel the certainty? And then at the micro level, it doesn't matter. What's the strategy? It doesn't matter because I'm going to hit it.
I get that.
So try that out loud. Say, I am going to create financial abundance.
I am going to create financial abundance.
I'm going to find a new job or career.
Find a new job or career
that I love doing.
Because
I'm not going to stop until I do.
Because I'm not going to stop until I do.
Feel that certainty?
Sit with it. Yeah, I do.
So just hold that right now. Like
exercising, you have to just consistently repeat that. Like I have to.
Well, stop. Stop. The reason I'm cutting you off is because I got you into alignment and your brain was telling you were going to go out of alignment.
Yeah.
Those are some of the frames we need to catch, because it's less about making it happen and more about removing the things that push you out of alignment. And that happens every time I do that. Every time I do a repeat after me with a new client, they're always like, okay, can you repeat that again so I can write it down? I'm like, why do you need to write it down? Because I don't want to forget it. Well, why don't you want to forget it? Because I want it to be permanent. Well, why is it not permanent? Oh, because change doesn't happen that fast. So then there's a frame about their process that needs to change. Does that make sense?
It does.
So that's why, let's just go back to the frame. Let's repeat after me. I take full ownership of my life and everything in it.
Full ownership of my life and everything in it.
I am going to find work that I love.
I'm going to find work that I love.
That pays me ridiculously well.
Pays me ridiculously well.
Because that's what I want to do.
That's what I want to do.
It's 100% possible.
100% possible.
And I don't care when it happens.
I don't care when it happens.
Because I choose to enjoy this journey.
I choose to enjoy this journey.
This discovery of my new path. And I am absolutely going to hit that target.
Absolutely going to hit that target.
Because I'm not going to stop until I do.
Because I'm not going to stop until I do.
That is a fact.
That is a fact.
Just sit. If contradicting thoughts come up, just notice them. Oh. But if you hold that, they'll start to neutralize and integrate and be gone. Because this right now is alignment.
Yeah. I can feel it. Like literally in my body, my hands, like you can feel the physical sensations of your body changing as you.
Yeah, because you're shifting frequencies. We feel it in our bodies.
So one of my therapists from a long time ago has said, and I've heard in other places too, just follow the energy. Know where the energy is in your body.
Sure.
What brings a feeling of like energy, for lack of a better word. And I don't mean in a woo sense. I mean like what is actually energizing me as a person, and also what isn't. You know, what is that heavy versus light? You can kind of look at it in that way as well.
Can be. Yeah, you can. Yeah, that works. I'm saying you can also follow excitement too.
Excitement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the two things right now that are bringing me the most excitement are exercise. All I want to do is go work out or go for a run, and I should say, go play soccer with my kids. I can come up with other things. I can imagine big picture things that also bring me energy, but they're in my imagination more so. But those are the two things over the last month and a half, I'd say, that are really just, if I could just, and just sit and kind of read and meditate. But I could just do those things all day. Amazing. But I think that's also what I need to embrace temporarily for this journey. Like what you described earlier, my process of growth is this journey. And I think it starts with just exercising, for example.
Which is also taking space from it's creating space for you. So life will give you the first step. When we start to storm off and march off into the unknown, we only get it one step at a time. Mm-hmm. Right now, you're getting excitement around exercise, playing soccer with your kids. So go do that. And that will lead you to the next step, because most likely just having that space there will give you the spot. And when you're exercising, I would encourage you to Try not listening to any music. Just be silent. Give yourself that openness, because that'll allow you to dial into your connection, your intuition, your guidance. And that's what you should do.
Yeah. It's definitely what I've been feeling lately.
Okay. Excellent. So now you know what to do.
Yeah, for now. But that process, doing that next step is the process.
Yeah.
Just as I'm talking, like the doubt is creeping back in from the old mindset, basically, the old frame. I'm learning how to watch that.
Yeah.
Let it go, as you said earlier.
The thing is to focus on holding the truth when the old doubts come up, because that's the integration process. You're like, I'm feeling scarcity, but I know, or I'm feeling like I don't know what to do, but I actually do. I'm in the frame where it will show up. So I just need to sit here and process that feeling. So when you're holding the truth and you've experienced the old emotion, you breathe, it'll integrate and disappear like in less than 2 minutes. And you only have to do it like 1 or 2 times and it's gone. But what usually happens is when the old thoughts come up, our nature is to dive into them and it consumes us and we go into that frequency versus holding the higher frequency as we process the lower stuff.
Right. If
you want to move faster, get more present with your processing. When you see that old thought come up, oh, here's one. Here's house cleaning. Clean up aisle 3. Okay. So now you're going to remember clean up aisle 3 at any time. Jason said, clean up aisle 3. Anytime an old belief comes up, oh, clean up aisle 3. Okay, they're just doing clean up over there. Breathe, and you'll process and integrate it.
Are you familiar with Michael Singer's work?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've heard you talk about Matt Kahn a little bit in my web. I didn't know that until very recently. I don't know much, so I'm going to dig into that. But a lot of what you talk about is so parallel with what Michael Singer talks about, even though his approach, he's coming from a different perspective. But ultimately, it's kind of the same process of sitting in consciousness, watching the shit come up and letting it go.
Yep.
I feel like, moving into a new frame is a very similar type of work, by allowing myself to go deeper and to embrace like the confidence, because the doubt's coming from my mind and from history, from past experiences or whatever. But then rather than kind of falling into that, which we all have a tendency to, I certainly do have a tendency to get down. Oh, look at my react like, oh man, what's going on? I'm not happy. And next thing, and now I'm stuck for the next 4 hours.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Matt Kahn has a new series out. I think it's called Heal to Completion. He's doing another round. It's opening soon. It's like a 7-day course that like heals 7 levels of consciousness. It's like really powerful.
Yeah.
And I think he has a sliding scale cost of it. It's like $150. But yeah, Michael Singer's work is good, but we're all talking about the same stuff. Michael Singer, Abraham Hicks, Matt Kahn, they're all just different approaches. The book also, the book that also helped me a ton was Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. It sounds like a religious book, but it's not. It's a consciousness book. The other book, have you read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho?
Multiple times over the years, yeah.
I love that book. You may want to read that again because it's so good with like, it's really applicable to where you're at right now, to your process.
I read that one about 3 years ago. So it's still fairly fresh.
Yeah.
I think that was the 3rd time I'd read.
So you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
One thing you can also do to kind of associate a different change is like move your furniture. Maybe your desk is set up the ideal way, but if you move your desk to the other side of the room, even for like a month, like it totally interrupts your brain pattern and gives you it's different now.
Yeah.
It's a good way to create a change. Awesome. All right. Well, anything else? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. And I'll see you on our next weekly call. All right, Michael, great to connect with you.
Thank you.
Take care. Can you see how powerful coaching is and the power that coaching has? To take advantage of a coaching experience, go to freeintrosession.com. Freeintrosession.com. My team will walk you through a do the impossible goal setting process that will help align you with your greatest, highest possible target you can aim at. You really want to pay attention because coaching opportunities are powerful and will transform your life. They transformed my life ever since I started coaching over 10 years ago. Don't forget to join me next week as we continue this evolution and this dive into greatness on the Do the Impossible podcast. I'm Jason Drees. I will see you then. Bye-bye.